Hi everyone, welcome to the Media Interview and Message Training. This is going to help prepare you for any upcoming interviews. Why media interviews? So media is a vehicle to help spread awareness about St. Baldrick's, our mission, and the need to raise money for childhood cancer research. It's going to help you reach a new audience, a larger audience, and hopefully inspire others to want to get involved, to take action, and hopefully drive more donations and participation. Types of media include print, and those interviews may be over the phone or in person. Broadcast, those can be done in studio or at another off-site location. Radio is often done over the phone, and then online outlets and blogs can be over the phone or in person. Interview goals. So think about these goals as you are preparing for interviews. You're looking to increase awareness about childhood cancer and the need to fund research to find new treatments and cures. You want to build name recognition for the St. Baldrick's Foundation and raise awareness about our mission and what we do. You want to influence public perception and inspire people to take action and want to get involved and to learn more. You want to instill public confidence and make sure to deliver a call to action of where people can learn more, oftentimes referring them back to the St. Baldrick's website. So now we're going to get into some of our key messages. So before any interview, you want to make sure to review the talking points we have, and those will be located in the resource lounge. If you're not sure where to find them, please go ahead and ask your St. Baldrick's event coach or any St. Baldrick's staff member. So here are some tips as you're looking over the talking points document. You want to practice answering questions out loud and adjust any awkward sentences. You don't want to sound like a robot or that, it's been rehearsed. You want to sound natural and you want to sound like yourself. So you don't need to remember things verbatim. But when you're looking through, pull out the points, that you are most passionate about, and say them out loud and then adjust them so they sound like you. Don't feel like you have to remember everything on the document, and don't feel like you have to remember a ton of different stats. Just choose one or two, again, that you feel the most passionate about and most comfortable talking about, and make sure to weave those into your answers. Remember that reporters may forget to ask about St. Baldrick's, and so it's important to weave St. Baldrick's into at least two of your answers. So for example, if the interview is about an upcoming local St. Baldrick's head shaving event, or maybe they're doing a live segment at the event itself, and they say something like, we're down here at the convention center for a head shaving event. You then would want to answer and say, yeah, there's about 100 people out here supporting the local St. Baldrick's head shaving event. So see how you just want to incorporate St. Baldrick's in there instead of just generally saying head shaving event. So just make sure to keep this in mind when you're answering their questions. And also remember that you can take control of the conversation. If you feel like a reporter is going off on a tangent or getting off topic, and you want to make sure to bring them back to the cause, the mission about childhood cancer, about the mission of St. Baldrick's, and why you're a volunteer, why you're supporting St. Baldrick's, and what you're doing. So you just want to make sure to bring it back and make sure that you feel confident in your answers and know that you can take control of the conversation if the reporter starts to go off topic. We ask that you not talk about any other organizations during the interview, whether it's positive or negative, and just keep your answers focused on your story and why you're supporting St. Baldrick's. So within our talking points document, you're going to see a variety of different sections with different talking points under each section. So this is just kind of a brief overview. One of the sections is our childhood cancer realities. So if a reporter is asking you, why is this cause so important? Or why are people at this event raising money for childhood cancer research? These are some of the stats you can refer back to. So worldwide, more than 300,000 children are diagnosed with childhood cancer each year. In the US, 1 in 5 children diagnosed with cancer will not survive. So again, pick 1 or 2 that you can remember and make sure to weave them into your answers. Another section we have in there is about the foundation. So these talking points are going to help you answer any questions related to St. Baldrick's. If a reporter asks you, what is the St. Baldrick's Foundation? What do they do? You can refer back to some of these. The St. Baldrick's Foundation is the largest private funder of childhood cancer research grants worldwide. St. Baldrick's funds the best childhood cancer research wherever it takes place. Since 2005, St. Baldrick's has granted more than $258 million to support the development of childhood cancer treatments that are as unique as each child. If a reporter starts to ask you, why are people out here shaving their heads? Something you can say, at St. Baldrick's head shaving events, people volunteer to shave their heads to raise money for childhood cancer research. You want to make sure if you're talking about a head shaving event or talking about people volunteering to shave their heads at a St. Baldrick's head shaving event, you want to always make sure you tie it back to that they're doing this to raise money for childhood cancer research. So again, these are just a quick overview of some of our key messages, and you can find more in the talking points located in the resource lounge. So now we're going to go over what works and what doesn't during an interview. So some things that are effective. You want to be concise, compelling. You want to make sure you feel confident in what you're talking about. So again, reviewing those talking points and saying them out loud and practicing, by yourself or, with a friend or family member. Make sure that you're staying on topic, and again, always tying it back to St. Baldrick's and the mission about raising money for childhood cancer research. You want to make sure you're backed by proof points, and so you don't want to say anything you're unsure of, and again, those talking points are going to help you do that. Personalize your answers when appropriate. If they're talking about your involvement with St. Baldrick's, why you volunteer, how you got involved, if you have a personal connection to childhood cancer, definitely include that in your answers as well. And make sure, the main point, you always, again, want to bring it back to St. Baldrick's and the mission about, letting people know how they can get involved and how they can donate. And so you can definitely say that a couple of times during the interview just to drive home that point. Things that are ineffective, jargon-filled. So if you are talking more about perhaps a childhood cancer diagnosis or your experience with that, you just want to make sure that you're not using a lot of complex terms, and just make sure that you keep it more general when you're speaking to a reporter, because it is going to be for a general audience. You want to if it's not relevant to the article, so again, you want to make sure to stay on topic and just make sure that it is relevant. Make sure your answers are relevant to what you're talking about. Not believable. You want to make sure, what you are saying can be backed up by proof points. And then you don't want it to feel memorized or like a script. So again, just make sure that it's coming from you and it just feels natural, and practice saying those talking points out loud. So here are some tips for television. Assume the camera is always on and you don't want to look directly at it. Lean forward, don't lean back. You don't want to be moving around too much. Don't wear stripes or loud prints. Really, your best bet is to wear a St. Baldrick's t-shirt or other St. Baldrick's gear. You also want to watch your body movements. Keep your head moving, move your body only slightly, move your hands but not above your face, and you just want to be aware of that. Also watch your facial expressions as well. Smile when appropriate, appear thoughtful. You want to maintain eye contact with the reporter. If you feel, emotional when you're speaking, that is fine to show, emotion as well. Things to keep in mind. You know your story best, so tell it. You know why you're here. You know why you're involved with St. Baldrick's and what it means to you. So tell your story and express that. You want to be genuine. Deliver your message in a concise sound bite. So when talking and giving your answers, usually, 2 to 3 sentences is best. You want to just make sure, again, you aren't, going off for 10 minutes on one answer, because most interviews are very short and they're usually only, 2 to 3 minutes. So you want to make sure you get your points across. Make sure to tie your message back to St. Baldrick's and our mission. Look at the reporter and not into the camera. Try to relax, make it a conversation. Speak clearly. Pick 2 to 3 stats from the media talking points document and stick to them. Only use statistics that you know are accurate. Review the most up-to-date media talking points before any interviews. And if you don't know, don't guess. So if this is a phone interview, it's completely fine to tell a reporter, I'm not sure about that, but let me check in. And you can ask a St. Baldrick's staff member if it's something related to St. Baldrick's, and we can help get you the answer. If it is a live TV interview, it's okay to say, I'm not sure about that, but what I do know is, and then go back to one of your points that you've practiced from the talking points document, so you can redirect the conversation. So here are some mock interview questions that you can practice before any interview. These are some general questions that are typically asked for an interview related to St. Baldrick's. So, what is the St. Baldrick's Foundation? How much money has the foundation raised this year? How much money has the event raised this year? So if your interview is related to an event or fundraiser, you'll want to make sure you have those numbers on hand. Where does the money raised go? Why do people shave their heads? Is there anything else you might want to add to the story? So again, make sure you practice some answers to these questions and you'll definitely be prepared and feel confident. So thank you so much for tuning into our training. And if you do have any additional questions, or if you ever want to, practice before any interviews, please reach out to me. I am happy to help. My contact information is on this slide. You can reach me by phone or email. Thank you so much for your continued support and have a great day.